Hi, in this session we are going to talk about Property Inspect and Management Android application. We're going to look at the very first step, how to install it on an Android device. I have a Samsung 10.1-inch Galaxy tablet and this has the Android 6.0 Marshmallow version. So first step, I'll go to Play Store and I will try to locate the app. So I would type Property Inspect and Management. On the left side, very first option is Property Inspect and Management. Now the app is already installed on my device, so I see the option to open, but for the first time user, you will have the option to install it. So I assume that the app is already installed. We can open it. Now this would be the very first screen inside the app. For the first time user, you will see the app introduction that you can swipe through or you can read the features one by one. On completion of that, it would take your Gmail ID to log in. So you can log in with your Google Plus account, which is your Gmail ID, or with a standard user ID password. And it would ask you permission to access the camera contacts because the application would utilize that information. Once you do all those steps, you would see this screen. Now, there are two essential sections before we can start a standard inspection. The first is user profile. You go in the user profile, we edit and input all the information. On top, you can take a picture of your business logo and then input all below information. The key information is that to make sure you put the prefix of inspection report, like I have put PI1, and write the inspector name. Once you save it, it will take a few seconds to a minute to make sure it fully save it in the device and on the cloud system. And then we go to the settings section. This is where the key information for app. So we have the 3 conditions defined. You could change the language of any condition here. Like you could mark it excellent, repair condition. And likewise, we can put the agreement prefix, invoice due date. So in how many days the invoice due date would appear on invoice. And the default inspection type. Now, quick inspection is based on the best practices in the industry or utilize the format how InterNACHI, ASHI, and the Home Inspector Training Institutes provide. So it's a quick method where user can have the predefined property features. The detailed inspection is if you would like to do a commercial property inspection, a condo inspection, or a multi-tenant facilities, you could do the detailed inspection where you could add your own property features like elevator or swimming pool and choose the default template. The default template is the orange color background. You can define any template and save the settings feature. So with these two essential settings, the app is configured to start utilize. Now to do an inspection, we need a property. So inspector can go ahead and input a property. Here I already have 2 properties. I can update and delete them. Or we can put the basic information about the property. The another section is the client. So we will input one customer details. And then we are essentially ready to perform an inspection. Now before doing a inspection, if we plan to perform an agreement for our customer, then this screen would execute and generate an agreement for the customer. Here we can define a customer name customer details, the inspection date, which and the inspection price. With this information, these are the standard terms and conditions for the inspection. These are editable terms and conditions. We can add them, we can put more conditions, and then we can execute the contract between the inspector and the customer. So on click of generate, it will generate a client agreement. We can share this agreement with the customer. So it has the client name, agreement details, property address, inspection price. It has all the terms and conditions, and then the signature of both the parties. Now, once we have the inspection agreement done, we can share it via email. Now we go to look into the schedule. Now this is to define a future dated inspection. So to keep a record of that, we can input a customer detail and define the inspection date and what time we're going to do the inspection. So all that information would appear. We can write the notes here and we can record the notes. The inspection is scheduled for tomorrow 9 p.m. Inspection, oops. All right, let's give a try again. The inspection is scheduled for tomorrow. Okay. The inspection is scheduled for. All right, let's go ahead and save this one. Now on the 23rd November at 22:55, it's going to generate a notification in that device to remind for an upcoming inspection. And once it is done, we can set the status to done. It will turn into a green color. That suggests that the inspection is already performed. On the task reminder, we have a journal to-do list, so where user could input the journal task and write the time, which is a standard business related task you could utilize for. In this session, I'm not going to talk about the main inspection process. There will be another session on that. So we will check the invoice section also. Now again, this section can only be generated once we have a performed inspection report under the dashboard. If there is an inspection already done and we have a completed inspection report, there's a possibility to generate an invoice. So I will conclude the session with these basic features and we'll have another video